Hiya folks, welcome to the next edition of Serverless Craic with myself, Dave Anderson. I'm technical fellow, Bizarre Voice, and author and contributor at the Serverless Edge.
I'm Mark McCann, author and contributor at Serverless Edge and architect at Globalization Partners.
Hey everyone, Michael O'Reilly, a architect with Globalization Partners and contributor at the Serverless Edge. Hello.
Hello folks. So we're continuing our series of modern cloud. Last time we gave a bit of an intro on modern cloud, and I think this is it's a good conversation. It's an interesting term. So I thought it might be interesting to maybe just come at it from a few different personas or people. And probably the first one, the most important one, is the CEO. And for me, I think just to frame it, I think the CEO probably, if you think of the modern cloud, what would the CEO expect from modern cloud? And the way I would nearly frame it is capability. You want capability from your engineering or IT organization. I think speed is a thing, and flexibility. Would you agree with those three high-level buckets?
Yeah.
I don't think they care about Lambdas or Kubernetes.
No.
No, like.
And it's a good way to really frustrate your CEO is tell them all about Kubernetes and Lambdas.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I think
not that they don't care, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's probably a good set of groupings there. You got. I think at a CEO, what sort of level and context would you be talking about? I think, those three areas are pretty good sort of groupings. Like, so capability, what are you thinking about, Dave? So like, we're talking about the ability to build out business capabilities and be able to produce those things. Being able to build out business capabilities, having the ability to do so, being able to meet demands of the customers, kind of work into that sort of thing. And I think in previous podcasts we've talked about things like Wordly maps and being able to assess where you are with regards to things like maturity and maybe being able to identify opportunity, or being able to kind of look at sort of evolutionary paths and think about new capabilities, but also really being able to build it. Is that kind of what you're thinking? And yeah,
I think as a CEO, you're going to have the needs of your customers in your mind, right? You're going to have these user groups who have needs that you need to make sure that your company sort of meets. So you're looking to the modern cloud to say, well, how can I rapidly meet the needs of those customers, those users that I have? And what capabilities does the modern cloud provide me to do so? So they're looking to modern cloud for, can I quickly just stand up capabilities that meets those needs?
Well, yeah, and that's a really interesting one, because like one thing I always kind of find really interesting is when you're moving and transitioning into modern cloud, you still have to shake yourself out of building everything from the ground up. You know what I mean? So we're like, particularly in sort of emerging areas like machine learning or AI or something like that, you're kind of going, well, yeah, we'll have our own kind of ML stack, or we'll go and train our own models or whatever. But really in this sort of space, it's kind of like, well, is there a service that already does it? Yeah. Could we pull that off a shelf? Or, you got to get yourself into the habit of looking at what exists. And I think big part of modern cloud is it's aimed around, can we integrate with those things when they exist? Do they exist? Let's not build it let's not start way back at with nothing and kind of work our way up, but what can we do now? So
it's also the buy, rent, build question.
Oh yeah.
In my experience, CEOs are always obsessed with the customer in the business domain that they're in. Any CEO I've ever met, they're focused on that industry, and there's always a healthy question about, why are we building that? Why are we building that thing that's got nothing to do with our core business? So I think there's a value chain you can draw out. And I think if you're, as a responsible technical lead, you want to be thinking, we don't need to be building some of those things. We don't want to buy that or rent that.
Absolutely.
And I think in modern cloud, you've got the ability to rent a lot more things, because that gives you the ability to change and switch.
Yeah.
So I think you've a very high kind of rental power. You're not buying big things that you're locked in, and you're not building things that you're locked in.
I think you need to apply the modern cloud sort of lens to those software as a service capabilities that you're renting in as well, and make sure that they're not built on legacy cloud, because we've seen lots of sort of so-called SaaS offerings that aren't pay as you go, that don't scale up or down, right? That come with a lot of sort of operational overhead and burden. So I think, as we've evolved towards modern cloud and that sort of serverless first sort of mindset and approach, the SaaS offerings that we're looking to rent and bring in to meet those needs, we need to assess them to see, are they built on modern cloud principles and practices as well? Because you can tie yourself very quickly in the knots with things that won't scale. If the rest of your architecture and the rest of your solution is fully leveraging modern cloud, fully serverless, all the flexibility, elasticity, and scaling up and down, if those integration points with those SaaS services can't handle that, you're going to have to pay that price later.
Right. Yep.
I always remember as well a famous incident where it's a long time ago, where I heard a CEO tell the story of like engineering used to be like the janitor. You'd come in and you just want things to be clean and you don't want to see them. But now engineering is this thing that there's a differentiation. So I think there's an appreciation that modern cloud can actually drive your business, not kind of be a cost center. So I think there's a big thing. If you have a modern cloud attitude in your company, engineering is actually part of the business. They're not stuck in the IT department. I think if everything's stuck in the IT department and this is the black box, you might be doing modern cloud, but you're not really getting the commercial benefits of bringing that into your business leaders.
Yeah, I think, and I mean, and even when we talk about this topic, I think modern cloud for me is it's being able to integrate and effectively integrate with anything, and be prepared to do it, and that's typically what in a lot of scenarios you as a modern cloud architect is effectively become a specialist in, and certainly I think that's part of that conversation. So
everything's just integration. So the next one then is speed, which I think is an interesting one, and that's a very interesting one. Like we have talked in the past about time to value, and it's not just how fast the developer can type in the code. There's a whole value stream about when someone has an idea, how quickly does that make it into the hands of the customers? And that's not just IT. That's the whole thing from front to back. Obviously, in a modern cloud, you can really speed that up.
Yeah, and that's that. You should be able to go from ideation, discovery, and framing through to production, and in the hands of a real customer delivering value in days, not even hours now, if you've got it set up appropriately, right? And we've joked about this. There's a nirvana point where you're having these sort of discovery and framing sessions with the business, with your end users, and you're actually showing them real prototypes in the real production environments that have been toggled appropriately so that they're not exposed to the existing customer base, and that's happening within minutes.
And I'm going to say there is a flywheel effect here. Ta-da! Oh, yeah. Where if the flywheel gets stuck and you're spending ages and looting stuff, that there's inertia and kind of stoppage in the system. But once you start executing quickly as an engineering department, the product leads start thinking, well, we can ask for things quickly. That starts to turn, and then you get to that point where you can actually sit and both ideate and push something into production very quickly. That is that nirvana spot, as you say, Mark. But you need to kind of prove that you can go fast first, and modern cloud helps you go fast.
Yeah, I think, and then kind of tying on from the capability thing, and being able to move fast, and sort of the build buy rent sort of conversation, and but again, we've done earlier sort of podcasts on this one, just around the CEO level. They expect their teams to be able to go out with high change frequency, be able to kind of test the market, be able to do A/B tests, do it in a reliable way that kind of maintains, reliability, stability, gives good customer feedback. So I'm always, like we always say about that slow is smooth and smooth is fast. We talked about well architected and, the importance of having teams that work with certain degree of rigor, and so we have the mechanisms in place that facilitates moving with speed safely and productively. I think that's a big part of this conversation. And I think as a CEO, you mightn't really understand that, but surely you should be investing in an organization that supports it and invests, in their engineering or in their development, in their organization, to think in those sorts of terms.
And I think there's another thing as an engineer, you're not building your stuff for the engineering manager, you're building the stuff with the product person for the company. So you almost want to burst out of that little bubble. Sometimes people get caught in. Because the worst thing is if you get this amazing capability, but no one knows about it, and you can build stuff really quickly, but you're still stuck in safe trains, popping along, not going as fast as you can.
I love, there was an old Wardley kind of thread on this one, Simon Wardley thread, but it effectively, the essence of it was, in organizations that are working in this way with modern cloud, with teams that kind of adopt modern, well-architected practices, it's easier for them to learn the business than the business to learn IT, I always kind of take sort of pride in that.
That's fair enough. You don't hire a load of financial experts to teach you finance. You make them do finance, when you work with them. So, I think that's fair enough. And then the third one then is flexibility, which I think this is an interesting one. There's a couple of different ways you go on this. The ability to pivot or line of business, and then even the ability to scale in different ways and different even global locations that you didn't think you could.
Yeah, I think you're not, because if you do leverage the proper sort of modern cloud capabilities, you're not sinking a lot of investment in upfront. You're not doing a lot of capital expenditure into big hardware or big software sort of features and capabilities. It's all operational expense. It's the OpEx versus CapEx, right? So you're not sinking loads of costs that makes it hard for you to pivot and change. You're not sort of staking your credibility on a 50 million data center that you've just purchased and you have to make it work, right? You're able to have a lot more safe to fail experiments. You're able to try stuff out in a rapid fashion, like we talked about with that speed. Your feedback loop is a lot tighter. So if things aren't working out for the business, if you're pursuing a value stream or product offering that's not quite working out, you haven't sunk millions into that. So you can rapidly pivot into something that's more valuable, that may have more impact. So I think, with all of those things, and if you embrace that modern cloud way, you can pivot much more efficiently and much more effectively until you do find that sort of product market fit. So from a CEO point of view, they want to be able to have lots of options. They don't want to go down too many one-way doors. They want to have two-way doors that if it doesn't work out, they can back out and try something else.
Yeah.
There's also there's another part of that sunk cost fallacy. Not even the data center is, even if you do a migration, which is effectively a rehost, moving from like a server into like straight instances, and you've now got legacy cloud. You've just spent a lot of time and effort into standing that up, and there's just almost like the bubble. Well, we're going to spend more for a while, and then the spend will go down. It never really goes down, and then you're left with a few years after your migration. We're still spending lots of money. We can't move fast, and all we've got is just a fancy data center, as Gregor Hope said. So I think there's a piece there about doing that re-architecture or modernization as part of the migration, or even after the migration. So a lot of people don't do that, and you've got that sort of you don't have the flexibility, like you say, because you're stuck in one region or you're stuck in an old stack.
Yeah, I think even from a people point of view, because you are moving at such speed and you're leveraging all these capabilities appropriately, your people are freed up for differentiating work, to work on things that you can pivot towards, right? So they're not trying to work their way through lots of different changes. They're able to sort of pivot appropriately.
Yeah, and I think there's a huge data conversation in this one as well. Like I think organizations that really embrace modern cloud are able to kind of leverage, like those data capabilities to maybe expand into different, use that to seed new products or new ventures or new experimentation, or they're not fixated on yesterday's kind of success. They're always kind of, they've got their head on a swivel looking for that next opportunity, but they're constantly looking for ways to leverage what they have to kind of penetrate those sorts of spaces. So I think that's an interesting sort of area to kind of look at in relation to orgs that sort of embrace successful modern cloud.
I think they're not worrying about scale is key as well, but you don't know what's going to take off. If you put lots of experiments out there, something might really hit the product market fit and scale and have the need to scale massively. If you've leveraged modern cloud efficiently, you'll be like, yeah, let's just check a few limits and make sure our quotas are set properly and our resources are appropriate for that account. And yeah, we're good to go. Now that wouldn't be the case if you're stuck in legacy cloud or if you're on premise. You'd be very concerned about that.
Yeah.
And remember as well, what do we mean by modern cloud? You're likely event driven, maybe using more stream-based things. It's probably more kind of managed services where you're not fine-tuning things at a lower level. So you do have that elasticity and the event-driven to respond to change. And that's very hard to do if you haven't used some of those techniques. But anyway, that's the crack. So that's our kind of three, I think three maybe expectations of a CEO for modern cloud. That sort of differentiating capability, speed, and flexibility. Super interested to hear any feedback on that. But we'll leave it at that. Our podcast is available on all the channels, and we've got the serverlessedge.com on the blog and at serverlessedge on Twitter. Thanks very much.
Cheers, everyone. Bye.